Evening to everybody. Welcome to LSR TV. We are live at the virtual Martinsville Speedway. The half mile of mayhem located between Ridgeway and Martinsville in the Commonwealth of Virginia as we prepare for the next round of the Gen X Challenge Series, the Race Gen X Series here on LSR TV tonight. It is 200 laps around Martinsville. Good evening, I'm Wesley Outland, joined alongside Chris Nunn. Chris, we have got a great caliber of drivers ready to battle a tricky paperclip half mile that is Martinsville Speedway. This should be a good one tonight. What one word would you use to describe what you think we're going to see?
Carnage. You mentioned mayhem. We're going to go carnage. You know, Martinsville, it's very apt to have some very close racing, but it's also known to be a caution fest as well. And I'm not hoping for a caution fest, but I'm hoping for some great racing here in this 200 lapper, the National Kidney Foundation 200. Once again, special thanks, Ohio and Indiana Roofing, Mission 22, presented by Blackhawk Motorsports, Hilton Designs, Line Creek Brewing Company, LSR TV, what you're watching right here on LSR TV. iRacing, Martinsville Speedway, and the National Kidney Foundation bringing you tonight's event. And Wes, we got qualifying on the racetrack right now. Steve Baker currently sitting at the top of the charts.
Steve Baker, one of those top contenders always in that number 55 machine. He'll definitely be one of those drivers to watch. And I also, you know, hard pressed to think who's going to be the next driver that's going to step up to the plate and make something happen. As we see Baker right now being the man at the top of the board in qualifying, there's some other great contenders that are a part of this Gen X series. We've started at Daytona. We've moved from Daytona to Michigan to Richmond, and now tonight here in Martinsville. A great plethora of talent always that you can see here in this fast-growing Thursday night racing program series virtually.
You're correct. On the track right now, we see Chris Mefford out of Indiana. He is currently taking a qualifying time. It is Steve Baker still at the top spot. As Mefford, we go on board with him. Taking a look at that, the view he has out of the front of the car. He's making his laps here around Martinsville. Looks like Matthew McMeekin currently sitting 9th, Tom Quattlebaum Jr. 8th. Troy Radford in that second spot, and John Wimbish in 3rd so far in his qualifying, as Dale Osborne, your current points leader on the racetrack as we speak.
So again, we are here at Martinsville Speedway. This is a tricky half-mile track. There should be some very, very exciting racing for sure to take place. We're glad you're on board at LSR TV along for the ride. Again, a great night. Thursday night racing with this event. By the way, quick reminder, if you are a fan of the Northwest Racing Truck Series that normally races late night on Thursday night after the Gen X Series, their races will not be held tonight because of the Week 13 iRacing update. They normally do take off, so there again no racing planned or scheduled for tonight. So this is Chris Nunn, this is our nightcap, if you will. This is our Thursday night only show, but it should be a good show, an entertaining show here with the Cup Series at Martinsville Speedway as we ride on board with Virginia native Brian Snare in 43.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this race all day long. When we mentioned Martinsville, we mentioned NASCAR, the Cup cars, I immediately got a smile on my face because, Snare is hard into the wall. He took a header right there coming off the turn, Wes.
Uh-oh. The Victory Junction Foundation, number 43, the colors of the great late Adam Petty. One of the generation drivers of motorsports there. He's driving that car in tribute to Adam Petty. Brian Snare going around. Looks like he's able to keep on and continuing here. Nobody can bump Steve Baker, though. Steve Baker, the man that's at the top of the board. But you were talking about being excited for this race tonight.
Oh, most definitely. You know, Martinsville, one of the most exciting tracks on the circuit, as qualifying has completed. Wesley Outland. And looks like Steve Baker is going to be our fastest qualifier of the evening. I got to get a shout to the, we'll go get the starting lineup. Steve Baker, your pole setter, as your fast qualifier. Troy Radford coming up in that second spot.
John Wimbush and Blade Timmons will make row number 2. That's 56 and 87.
And in row number 3, starting 5th, going to see Brian Littleton in 80 and Dustin Ping in that number 1 machine in 6th. Starting in the 7th spot, we're going to see Travis Smith. Starting in the 8th position, we're going to see Eric Blount. Starting in the 9th position, Tom Quattlebaum Jr. And then in the 10th position, it's going to be Matthew McMeekin. Starting 11th, going to be Chris Canfield in 03. Outside of him, Chris Wood in 91. Starting in the 13th position, it's going to be Roy Hyde. And then starting in the 14th position, says race control. That's driver X, ladies and gentlemen. That is driver X. Runner 15, or starting 15th will be Brian Miskell Jr. And outside of him, going to be Dale Osmond, your current points leader, starting in 16th. Kay Green starting 17th, starting 18th on the grid, we're going to see Damon Cox. Starting 19th, Kendall Levron. And starting 20th, going to see Britt. Now in the 21st position, Justin Walters, and outside of him, going to see Chris Mefford. Starting 23rd, Doug Wysocki, and starting 24th, going to be Brandon Mefford. And then starting in the 25th position, going to see Cody Terry, and then starting 26th, it is Brian Snare.
User entered your channel.
As Wesley Outland is back in the booth, had to step out to turn the power back on. Welcome back into the booth, Wesley.
Yes.
Interesting fact for everybody. Blade Timmons, the only Toyota in the field today, and he's starting 4th.
Yeah, you know, that is one of the things that me and the producer Will Duvall was talking about was, you know, where is these Toyota cars at? I mean, is there something going on in the world of the virtual iRacing server that's making these drivers decide to use, you know, Chevrolets and Fords instead, and disaway or go away from the Toyotas, if you will? I don't know. That's kind of surprising.
It'll be interesting to see how he fares up against everybody else, being the only Toyota in the field. And your points leader, Dale Osmond, he has marked himself back there in the 14th starting position. He's going to be one to watch as we claw forward. But Steve Baker currently sitting 2nd in points by 1 point behind Osmond. Only 1 point separates 1st and 2nd. Then Wimbush in that 3rd position. And then Travis Smith runs 4th, and Dustin German in that 5th position in points.
Steve Baker, Troy Radford on the front row, Wimbush and Timmons, row number 2, Littleton, Ping, all ready to go as they're ready for the iRacing pace truck to make their way to pit road. It is 200 laps here around Martinsville Speedway. You do the math, 200 laps is 50 miles. 50 miles, 200 laps as they get ready to exit off of turn number 4. Here they come to the line. We are racing tonight here at Martinsville. May the best driver virtually win, and the race is on in turn 101. Chris Nunn.
Steve Baker takes the lead out of turn number 1. He'll go down the back straightaway into turn number 3. He'll lead the field into turn number 3 and 4. Radford takes that 2nd spot. He washes up a little bit. Wimbush going to try to get the 2nd spot away, but it's going to be Steve Baker leading lap number 1.
So lap 1 will go to Baker. The man from Carolina will sail away from the pack. Looking at almost a second back in second, my cheerwine color car of Wimbush. Radford's there. Timmons starting to make a run through the pack as they all stay nice. Top 3 single file. Battle heating up for 4th and 5th with Timmons and Littleton as they go to turn 1 in the early going. And we got a caution on the racetrack already. First yellow flag of the race on Speedway.
And unfortunately, we're going to take a look at our instant replay here as trying to see what the caution is exactly for, but we didn't quite catch it. Now we'll check it out here as I believe it's Matthew McMeekin bringing out the caution. We'll find out what happened with him as, oh wow, just around they go, and it's a chain reaction, Wesley.
McMeekin turned around and everybody else got on the binders, and Snare, the 43 car that we talked about having problems in qualifying, also involved in that deal as well. Lap 4 of 200. First caution out with McMeekin. Couple of others. Elto behind the pace car. We'll get the field set up. I don't think anybody's going to pit anytime soon. We'll take a quick step away. This is LSR TV, your home of sim racing.
ETE Reman,
is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Back here at Martinsville Speedway, the lights are off on the truck. We're getting ready for the restart here. The Gen X Challenge Series on LSR TV. And again, Chris Nunn, Wesley Outland here with you. And Steve Baker has been the class of the field as we'll get ready to set him up for the restart, Chris, for the first time here at Martinsville this evening.
He's led the whole way. He's got Wimbish to the outside of him as we get set on this restart. And they hit the gas. We are back underway. Steve Baker in that red number 55 machine. Got a car into the wall back there as we are almost had another wreck here on the front straightaway. Through the ladder, turn number 1 and 2 is going to be Baker. Radford now back to that second spot. Littleton and Wimbish just fell back to the 4th position on this restart. Timmons rounding out the top 5.
So lap 9 of 200 this time by. They're working that race here. Steve Baker and Radford there in second. The interval there as they cross the stripe. Watching this battle continue as they make way off the corner with Osmond and Hyde and Miskell all in that mix. That's inside the top 10. As they all work the back straightaway, we have caution out for the second time here at Martinsville.
Yeah, we mentioned before the race, it can either be we have long green flag runs or it can be a caution fest. As 2 cautions already in the first 10 laps. It looks like we're going to the ladder at the moment. Chris Canfield get it out, the 03 machine. Let's see what happens. So we just got loose, Wesley. Just got loose right there in the turns, running around.
Yeah. Yeah, we just saw Canfield looping around, and then we saw the 05 also have some net code issues, and he was kind of flashing across the screen back and forth. Britt was, who's currently in the 23rd position, and then all of a sudden he popped back up, and when he did, he plowed back into Canfield's car. So that is the cause of the caution here as we go under the yellow flag for the second time. And I still think we're hard-pressed to say, Chris, very early on where pit stops will not be happening just yet here at Martinsville.
Now, here on lap 11, I believe you're going to see drivers staying out for a long time. Let's try to guesstimate a pit window here, Wesley. What would you assume? When would you, if you're in the driver's seat, when would you start making stops?
I would think that you'd start making pit stops around 35, 40 laps, but that's also if you're starting to have these cycles of caution flags over and over again. Obviously, now if you were making green flag cycle of stops, by the way, the race we did on Monday night for the Northwest Cup Series, that was very abnormal. I mean, we had a caution on the start of the race at Richmond, and then we went on almost 140 lap green flag run until a caution flag came out again. So until then, I would say probably, 75, 80 laps, then you would come to the pits. But again, I've been proven wrong before.
Yeah, it's like we never know. Like, so when we were green here, we could have a 100-lap green flag run right here when we go back to green. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed for that one. Steve Baker still out front, Radford second, Littleton third, Moobish in that fourth spot, and Timmons in the only Toyota that could at fifth position.
And of course, there's your top 5. You have Ping, Smith, McMeekin, Blunt, and Hyde, the top 10 here at Martinsville in this event for 200 laps on this Thursday night with the Race Gen X Challenge Series. These are the type of Cup cars. And by the way, Chris Nunn, I know you're kind of new to iRacing. What do you think of the new Week 13 rebuilds?
This is my first night checking out the Week 13 rebuilds. As I was watching some of the videos on YouTube about it, the damage model, man, that is about as realistic as you can get. You got pieces and parts flying everywhere.
Yes.
I can't, when we start getting debris cautions, when I start getting worried.
For sure. Now, another thing that I like also is the cameras now have been updated with shake camera-ness, like it's the real deal, where you're vibrated inside the race cars, and obviously you don't have that reality of it, but you can have that visual virtual style of seeing the camera shake, or maybe when we do a speed shot when they're flying by the straightaway, like this shot right here. If they get a little close, you can see the camera start shaking on a restart when they're at full speed. So getting ready to come to restart here off of the conclusion of our second caution. Baker, Radford, they're in the restart zone box. The green flag goes back in the air, and we are back underway with racing here at Martinsville Speedway as the field dives back into turn number 1 and 2.
Steve Baker's led them all so far as we head down the back straightaway. Turn number 3 and 4 opens up that lead just a bit. Littleton and Radford. Radford now going to that second spot, trying to dig past Littleton. They're trading that spot back and forth. Wimbish and Timmons, they're trading 4th and 5th back and forth as well as we roll side by side, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th as we roll down the back straightaway.
Watching this battle ensue as they make their way around the corner. It's still Baker, the man leading the way.
Steve Baker in still the class of the field. Littleton Timmons now up to that 3rd spot. Keep an eye on him as he moves up the rankings. Caution is out again. Yellow flag for the 3rd time here in Martinsville.
Another caution. Let's find out the replay, and we'll see what happened. I think we're on board with Canfield again in 0-3. And there we go. A little net code for the driver in the back, and Canfield kind of unison to where he lost it the last time. And to be honest with you, Chris Nunn, that looks like the same scenario of the last caution we just had with the same 2 cars.
Yeah, these... Okay, so that's a different replay.
Oh, that's a replay of the same wreck. Okay, my my apologies.
Yeah, this one's Kendall Levron here as he just goes around, as he might have had some help there, but Kendall Levron is the reason for the caution.
I was about to say there for a second, it looked like it was the same deja vu all over and over again. So, no, good work by B.J. Duvall to quickly find out what happened. And hey, look at this. 20 laps in. You asked me that question, when will they start coming to the pits? Between 20 to 30 laps under cautions. And look at this, Chris Nunn. They are making pit stops right now on pit road.
Wholesale pit stops being made right now. We're going to see exactly how this shapes up, as looks like everybody's coming in, trying to get a little head start on the pit stops, as we'll take a look at the race off pit road, see who stays out, see who stayed in.
Looks like Baker is the only man that stayed on racetrack. Everybody else is on pit exit. So it looks like the 55 car is still the man that is leading the way behind the toe of the pace car. Everyone else is exiting off the pit road, led by Canfield and Moore. There's Brian Snare, but all the while, Steve Baker, there he is. Now, Wimbush and all those other cats behind him gave up their position for pit stops, but they didn't lose that much. Number 8 is on pit road as well. You just saw his pit work being done. That's Quattlebaum, Tom Quattlebaum. Speaking of hockey, I always say that's a hockey player's name when I'm cutting up with Cody Wooten in our broadcast on Thursday night. Chris Nunn just got a notification that said NHL hockey is to resume practices on Monday. So I'm really, really excited to hear that.
Hey, you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan, aren't you?
I'm a Hurricanes fan. I also am a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan as well. So yeah.
My Colorado Avalanche, they haven't been doing well the past few years, but they were the team of the 90s. And everybody that says, oh, you were a bandwagon, I was a Nordiques fan, but became the Avalanche, so we're good to go there.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Well, the cool thing is slowly but surely, things getting back, hopefully, to some type of civility and normalcy again in our world as far as our favorite thing that we love is with sports. And we're glad that people enjoyed this diversion with LSR TV and so many others with sim racing, with the simulations that have been going on. This is not a video game, Chris Nunn. This is a simulator. It is so close to racing the real deal that you can get to besides racing real cars. Same thing as if you wanted to be a pilot, you got to go through a flight simulator to learn how to fly. This is the same thing as far as being race car drivers on dirt and pavement road courses, late models, stock cars, cups, trucks, sprint cars, you name it, they've done it. Props to iRacing and all the great things that they continue to do.
Yeah, it's like a lot of drivers said, they come to this to get ready for their upcoming real life races, and when you have drivers giving you that vote of confidence, you know you've done something right.
And one of the cool things that is coming to LSR TV on Tuesday nights, the LSR TV Throwback Series, and I am looking forward to that one. Retro racing with the 87 Chevrolet and Ford Cup cars. And there's going to be a series created for that. That's the LSR TV Throwback Series. All details coming soon at LSR TV on Facebook and on Twitter. And, of course, the official website, livesimracing.com. For the third time, they're in the box here at the restart zone in Martinsville. Green flag back underway here at the Big M. And Baker gets the jump on the pack as they roar back to get into one. And side by side for second, third, fourth, and fifth off two.
And Baker still continues to lead. Blade Timmons trying to make his way forward in that white and black number 87 machine. He'll take that second spot away from Littleton. He is charging towards the front. He's starting back there in the fifth position, I believe, sixth position. And he's worked himself up to second. Littleton and Radford now trading that third spot. Radford now goes to third. Littleton drops back to fourth. Travis Smith now working his way up. Keeping an eye on your points leader, Dale Osmond, started 15th. He's worked his way up to 9th.
And by the way, I have been informed that it will be on Monday nights. Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern will be the new LSR TV Throwback Series. So I think there was a discussion of possibly doing it on Tuesday, but it will be on a Monday. What a great way to start your work week. Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, the new LSR TV Throwback Series. Details coming very, very soon on that. Just wanted to clear that that clarification up. Not Tuesdays, Monday night. Baker, Timmons, Radford, Littleton, and Smith, your top five. And we have yet another visit by the Banana Republic flag. One more time, Chris Nunn, for the fourth time at Martinsville.
And we're going to take a look and see exactly what it was. Chris Mefford, the 84 machine. It looks like, trying to see what happened there. Oh, just got a little squirrely there coming out of the turn number 4 and parked it head first into the wall.
What a tough break for Chris Mefford. Mefford able to continue along, and this new damage, this new damage update that they talked about, we spoke on it briefly. Wasaki's on pit road. As we look on board with Medford's car, still ripping around the racetrack at 84. This new damage that they've created, Chris Nunn, makes it look so much more realistic and similar to the real racing. And in addition to that, just all of the cool updates that has been done. Another one of the cool things is the debut of the North Wilkesboro Speedway from back in the 80s, and honestly, that's what resurfaced and brought this LSR TV Throwback Series to life too. That's going to be on Monday nights.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's sometime within the next year or so, a couple of years. I know, scanning racetracks and stuff like that takes a long time. It's a very arduous task. I'm hoping that they can, get a Rockingham and get, some older tracks like that in here. And of course, add some more dirt tracks as well. I have a feeling iRacing is not done, rolling out the red carpet for a lot of new updates. Steve Baker continues to lead Blade Timmons at second spot. Troy Radford running third. And Brian Littleton, who won the last race at Pocono, currently still sitting in that fourth position. Travis Smith, who finished second in that last race at Pocono, currently sits behind him in the fifth position. As Wesley mentioned, we are working caution number 4 here at Martinsville.
And I don't think anybody is going to be making any trips to the pits, so we're staying under caution. Let's step away. We'll be right back with more coverage of the Gen X Challenge Series on this Thursday night on LSR TV.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
Ready for the restart. Working lap number 33, this time by Steve Baker, Timmons, Radford, Littleton, Smith all in the box, and we are back to green as the field roars back into turn number 1 on the restart.
Into turn number 1 they go. Steve Baker.
Oh, caution.
Caution is out again here on the start. Caution number 5. Man, we just cannot get a long green flag run.
I don't know if anybody crashed per se. I'm just thinking that maybe race control did not agree with the restart.
That might be it, as they are currently lining up back in their double file positions. So maybe that's exactly what it is. Maybe a bad restart.
Pace car, or the pace trucks flying through the virtual field, ready to get back to their place. And we're waiting to see if there's any type of a EOL or any type of a warning being issued to either Baker or Timmons. Those are your front row. Now, granted, when they get in that restart zone box, obviously, Chris Dunn, the leader has the right to fire first, and I'm wondering if possibly Timmons might have got the jump on the pack when they went back to green, and that's why they quickly called caution.
Yeah, luckily they called it pretty quick, and everybody was able to, get slowed down at a pretty good pace. It's not going to take long. It's not going to take long to get it lined back up here. It doesn't look like either one of those drivers are going to get an EOL at the moment. So,
not seeing anything, and actually, no. Look, we saw Timmons just fly through the field. He just went like way past the pace car or the pace truck, and I'm wondering what's going on here. I wonder if he might be suffering a penalty or what the dealio is here. I'm not sure.
We're going to find out here as soon as we get our lineup, as looks like everybody's trying to catch it back up to the back of the field. It's going to be interesting, as he's been fast throughout this whole race. It looks like, I think Timmons still may be back there in the second spot, I believe. I'm trying to see what that car number is there in second. 87 right now.
Yeah, I want to say that had to be in Canfield. Yeah, I want to say it was either Canfield or Damon Cox, which the car that Damon Cox, that's what it was. My apologies. I just saw a 7 flash, and I thought that was Blade Timmons, but Blade is still in that number 2 position, so maybe they gave him the free pass of the wave around was Damon Cox and trying to get him back on the lead lap, but we are still under the yellow flag, which is very surprising to me, especially if there would have been like a jump of a start quickly. They could have got him back in order and said, okay, guys, look, we're going back to green, but a lengthy caution here than what I expected, Chris.
Yeah, laps. We've ran more laps under caution, I believe, than we have green. We are currently sitting 36 laps into this race. Now working lap number 37. We still sit under caution. 1 to green this time by Wes. Lights are going to go out on the iRacing pace truck, and it's been all Steve Baker all the time here at Martinsville right now.
Yeah, it has. It has. As we get ready for Baker and Timmons, Littleton and Radford and Wimbush and Smith and McMeekin, Blunt right now, along with Osmond and Miskell, the top 10, ready to come back for green here at Martinsville. Working lap number 38 after the conclusion of this caution. They're in the box. The green is about to wave back in the air. Here they go. And it is Baker flying back through the field on the restart back to turn 1.
Baker has that lead. Timmons settles back into the bottom on that second spot. Then it's Littleton back there in third. Radford and Smith running out the top 5. Top 5 single file as we look back there. As Eric Blount and Wimbush, they trade the spot back to 6th and 7th. Still trying to keep an eye on your points leader, Dale Osmond, currently mired back there into that 10th position.
Hey, Chris, another thing that we haven't really talked about since we came on the air with this broadcast on LSR TV tonight virtually. Martinsville, tonight. Yes, tonight. It is a night race. The lights, the LED lights are illuminated. As look out, front straightaway. One car bouncing off the wall. Can we still stay green with no caution? I think we will. No yellow flag out yet. We'll stay green, but one of the things I talked about as we looked at Troy Radford bouncing off the wall as we hit lap 40 is Chris Nunn. We're racing under the lights at Martinsville tonight.
It definitely adds a different atmosphere to Martinsville Speedway. We've seen them for years and years and years running under the daylight. I'm always a sucker for a good night race. I just love the way the cars glisten under the lights. It makes it better for me, I think, as a fan.
Something special about night racing, especially here at Martinsville, virtual style or in reality. And by the way, the Cup Series will return to Martinsville for reality racing next Wednesday night. A 500-lap race for Martinsville next Wednesday. As we have a caution out again. Chris Nunn, you called it.
Yeah, Chris Wood just got loose coming down the front straightaway. Around he went into the wall. So we are working caution number 6 here.
Looks like it's that 91W, and I think he's a Wisconsin Badgers fan by that W that's on the side of his car number for sure. It looks like that Wisconsin logo.
Trying to take a look at it on my screen there. You might be right.
Dynamics on the 91W. It looks like it is a Wisconsin logo. But we are under the caution again, and again, field frozen. We'll give everybody the wave around here in a moment. The lap down car. We'll get ready to set them up for restart. And a caution field race so far in the first opening 50 laps of this event. Chris Dunn, would we have expected things any differently?
No, and I believe your leader, Steve Baker, is in the pits again. So
he is.
I think everybody has else stayed out. Timmons stayed out. Littleton stayed out. Trying to figure out what Steve Baker's strategy might be here.
Steve Baker at pit stall 1. John Wimbush is also in the pit lane. Troy Radford in 94. All those cars are pitting. LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Some awesome racing that includes, in addition, the Northwest Racing Racing Cup and Truck Series. Remember, the Truck Series is off tonight because of the Week 13 iRacing update. Return to racing next Thursday. The Cup Series is on Monday night for Northwest Racing. You also have the new LSR TV Throwback Series, which will be Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Preparing for that. That's going to be a good one. In addition to that, you also have the World of Thunder iRacing League. And Chris Nunn, you're a big part of that, but we have a program on Wednesday night with those.
Yeah. So you cut out, Wesley, there for a little bit. I don't know if my headphones came unlatched or not, but I didn't hear the last part of what you said there.
Oh, I was just talking about all the cool racing leagues that we cover, and one of the things we do is the World of Thunder iRacing League, and you do that a lot with them.
Yeah, Sunday nights. On Sundays, we have a lot of races, 4 races a night on Sundays. And we got 2 more races left in our regular series. And then here in about 3 weeks, we start with Season 10. So we're getting excited for that one. It's going to be coming up.
Season 10.
Going to be adding a UMP Modified division to the ranks. So I'm excited for that.
Well, normally the World of Thunder modifieds were on Wednesday night on LSR TV, but I think they've changed that up a bit now.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the new schedule is going to be. I think we're still trying to work on that, but I do know that we're going to add modifieds to our Sunday lineup. So hopefully we're going to keep the Wednesday nights the same, but everything's going to be being rolled out and released here shortly. Steven and the crew are going to get a full schedule out, and we'll get that out as soon as possible. But there's a lot of racing coming up, and I'm excited for it.
A lot of fun time here on LSR TV, livesimracing.com, your home of sim racing. Timmins and Littleton ready to bring them for the restart. The pace truck is on pit road. This is lap number 50 of 200, 1/4 of the way through. As here they come out of turn number 4, back in the box. Green flag back in the air. They roar back to speed in turn number 1.
All right, your leader now is Blade Timmins, the only Toyota in the field, as he is working his way up. And he is starting to get a big lead right now over Brian Littleton. As we roll and take a look out the front of Blade Timmins' car as we roll down the front straightaway. He has got a pretty good gap between himself and Littleton there. Well, that's kind of shortened it up a little bit. The guy to keep an eye on, Wes, I'm going to keep an eye on him, is going to be Steve Baker. See how long it takes him to run back up through the field.
This is the Race X Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing on LSR TV. And guess what? We have another question.
Cautions, breed cautions, breed cautions. And we are going to see Ryan Littleton. It was your second place car, got sideways and brought out the caution. And there you see part of that new damage model. You saw part of the car just fly off there and lay on the racetrack.
Under yellow flag. This is the 50th lap. Under caution yet again here. And this time it's for cars battling for first and second spot. That's a tough break there for Littleton. Brian Littleton had a really, really strong car, Chris, until he had that spin a moment ago, battling for the second and third position.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate circuit of event or circumstances for him. It just broke loose. He's been in too hard, but I don't know. It's like it just broke loose and over around he went, but he got sideways enough by racing through a caution for it.
Under the yellow flag yet again. 51 of 200 laps were, again, this has just been, oh my goodness, Chris, 7 cautions now?
I believe
I've lost
so,
count.
yes.
I think it were at 7, yeah. 7 cautions in the first 5 laps. Totally different than what we saw at the 3/4 mile of Richmond on Monday night for the North Cup Series race, for sure.
We race control, tell them to settle down. As we were listening to some race control, tell them to settle down just a little bit. Use your heads and don't drive over your head. So hopefully, race control is just going to get them settled down just a tad.
That's it. Come on, guys, let's be nice here. Well, what have you seen in the first 50 laps of this race so far? Oh, wow.
Other than a lot of yellow flags, I mean, before we went pit side, Steve Baker, he was the class of the field before we went pit side, and now I see who's sitting in second is your current points leader, Dale Osborne. He has now worked himself up to that second spot due to that 14 spots up to that second spot. So I don't think we've seen the end of Dale Osborne yet.
This is again only the quarter of the race, first quarter of the race. Still got 3/4 of the way to go here, as we have had nothing but a chalant of yellow flag activity as soon as they get going green. I'd be hard-pressed to say, Chris, that so far I think maybe the longest green flag run has been maybe 4 or 5 laps, if that.
Yeah, it's a stark difference from what we saw the other night, where we had, what was it, about 100, 110 laps under green flag. Now we're just itching to get 10 laps in under green. So hopefully, knock on wood, we're going to get some long green flag run here. Travis Smith at the top spot right now. Dale Osborne in second. Eric Blount third. Brian Miskell Jr. and Matthew McMeekin rounding out the top 5. Working lap 54, coming to work lap 55.
So we'll get ready to set them up for the restart here. Of course, follow at LSR TV on Twitter, at Wesley Outlet on Twitter. Chris Nunn, aren't you at Chris Nunn 82? Ain't that your Twitter handle?
That is correct.
I thought it was. Yes, sir. Definitely. And, of course, all of the other cool things going on. Big thank you also to Ohio and Indiana Roofing for being a sponsor of this series, the Race X Next Gen Series. Will Duvall up in wild and wonderful West Virginia doing an awesome job on the production side of things. Executive producer is Cody Wooten. LSR TV broadcast coverage here on this Thursday night from virtual Martinsville. Smith and Dobbs Osmond ready to go in the box for the 8th time. Restart. Back to green. Here at Martinsville, they roar. Back to the restart. Back to green.
Travis Smith, your leaders. They head out of turn number 1 and 2. Osmond trying the high side, trying to get around for the lead. Osmond, your current points leader. As he tries to roll out of turn number 3 and 4, he'll have to tuck back in. He'll hold that second spot. Battle for third between Blount and Miskell. They go side by side down the front straightaway. It's still going to be Blount holding that third spot as we head out of turn 1 and 2.
All right, let's see how it goes on here. Back into the corner into turn. Oh, look out, back straightaway. Can you say big one? Woods involved. And so many others. Is that Baker in 55? I think it is. He got collected as well, Chris Nunn. Big one. Calamity on the short tracks of Martinsville.
Yeah, Wood just backed down, and Baker had absolutely nowhere to go. Taking a look at the view here down the back straight. There you see it, Baker. He thought he was going to be able to sneak in on the bottom of the racetrack, but the car backed down right in front of him as we've got carnage everywhere here.
Replay with Wood getting turned around. Everyone else checking up. Wood got into Baker in 55, but I don't think per se Baker's got that bad of a damage on his car as he rolls away in the 55 car. We'll have to check that out there. That's Steve Baker on the bottom right of your monitor. Wasaki also caught up in it in 34. Baker, all these cars are coming for pit stops. Chris Nunn for what, the 3rd or 4th time in this race?
Yeah, wholesale pit stops happening again. Everybody just trying to get brand new tires. And, man, we just can't seem to get a long green flag run going here. I don't understand it. 59 laps in, 8 cautions right now. So, if we can get a long green flag run in, we're definitely going to see who's got the best car. But right now, we can't tell who's best, who's not good, or whatnot, because we just can't get a long green flag run in.
That's what we're looking for, is that long green flag run for sure. And again, we just have not been able to get it yet as we go back under the yellow flag again here. Working lap number 60 of 200. And still under the caution flag. Disappointing for sure for these drivers still trying to rock and roll around Martinsville and at least get a long green flag run. Lengthy, that's just not the case. We'll step away. LSR TV, your home of sim racing. We'll be back in a moment for the restart.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's
Lights are out of the pace truck, and it looks like by the discretion of the race director, virtual or reality, Chris Nunn, they have made the decision to restart this race single file. So it will be a single file restart as Smith gets ready to bring us back to green off of turn 4.
All right, hopefully the single file restart will help us out just a little bit to try to get some green flag runs in. Smith still your leader, Osmond in second in that green at number 88 machine. You definitely can't miss that race car. It's a big dark green race car right behind you. Smith, Osmond, Blount, Miskell, and Littleton up the top 5 as we just got some more pit stops in. Trying to see where Steve Baker's sitting there back in the 15th position after being involved in that accident. Working lap 64 here in Martinsville.
Coming across the line this time by. Look at Steve Baker starting to battle through the pack inside the top 15. Battling alongside McMeekin and Green as those cars nestle their way off the corner. Another lap on the board here as we work lap number 65 of 200. Hey, let's take a look at the manufacturers of these drivers on the racetrack as we are looking to hopefully get a green flag run under their belt. One of the things that we had mentioned was just one Toyota in the field. And, you know, as we do that, we want to take a look at, do we have another caution? No, we're still green.
I believe we got a couple of cars out of this one. Troy Radford and Chris Wood out of this one. So a tough break for them, and they are out of this one. So tough early exit for those two drivers. We saw Wood in that last accident that collected Baker. So his night is done here in Martinsville.
So, Chris, why do you think we have more of a resurgence of Ford and Chevrolets and only one Toyota in this race tonight?
That is a good question that I honestly wish I had an answer for. I think some of the drivers, they just feel more comfortable in, you know, maybe a Ford or maybe a Chevy as opposed to a Toyota. They're trying to switch out some different brands, you know, try to test themselves out. You know, the luxury with iRacing is you can, you know, switch out for a Toyota the next race if you wanted to.
There we go. But we finally have a good green flag run under our belt here. Working now 68 of 200 with Travis Smith leading them off the corner. There's Osmond right there in second. I'm craving a sun drop as I see that 88 sun drop car come roar by. I always say that's the Mountain Dew of the South, sun drop. Blunt is in third in the number 6 machine, Wimbush. Cheerwine, I love my Cheerwine too. They're coming back through the field. Miskell the top 5 as they exit off of turn number 2.
As they roll down out of the backstretch, Chris Canfield working his way. He got around Miskell there as he now runs into that 5th position. He's got Wimbush ahead of him trying to catch up. Canfield trying to make his way through. He had a very tough start to this race.
Another lap on the board here. And we have Smith having a strong run as we watch all these drivers out through the field coming off the corner. We're seeing that 0-3. How about Chris Canfield for a quick second? Chris, we'll talk about him. He brought out 2 cautions on his own, and he has rallied back through the field. What a great resurgence for Canfield. He's now back outside the top 5.
Yeah, he's worked his way up after being involved in one of our first cautions, the first of our mini cautions. I mean, 8 cautions on the racetrack tonight. Finally getting a good green flag run. Smith and Osmond, your leader. Osmond only 0.4 of a second behind your leader, Smith. As we are trying to work there, you see Miskell, his car back there as well. Laps looking down, 73 in as we are getting closer to halfway.
Martinsville Speedway here, and nightfall settling in as well. It's coming up on 25 laps to the halfway mark, or maybe a little bit more than that, 27 laps. As they go to the back straightaway, the leader out in front is still Travis Smith. Osmond in second spot. And those are those cars right there. I see that 95 car, Chris Nunn. I think Lightning McQueen cars.
You are right. We got Lightning McQueen, and then we've got Sun Drop right behind him. Makes me want to watch cars while drinking a Sun Drop. I haven't had a Sun Drop in years. Since you reminded me of that. That's I
love Sun Drop.
It's good stuff. And
yes.
I've been trying to find a way to catch up to Smith. Smith, though, just not letting him by. That gap doesn't seem to be shrinking, and it doesn't seem to be growing either, running almost identical times.
Travis Smith, Del Osmond, that's the way they stand right there in 1 and 2. They're pulling away from the pack. The interval is now almost 2 seconds between first to third, or actually 1.7 seconds back to Wimbush on that interval as they make their way off the corner. It's Smith and Osmond 1 and 2. Everybody finally having a good green flag run around the racetrack and finally knocking some laps off here as we look at Caravan number 95 of Travis Smith. Back up in front, but I will tell you, he is about to start encountering lap traffic here in a few moments, Chris Dunn.
Indeed it is. I see it's probably about, he's working it right now, trying to look underneath that 43 machine of Brian Snare. Snare goes a lap down. Cody Terry also a lap down as well. They dispatch of the lap car of Snare, and everything's still smooth sailing up for a caution.
And a caution.
For the ninth time.
And a caution coming out. That is a plus for Brian Snare. He'll get the free pass to go back on the lead lap, saved by the yellow flag, like saved by the bell. And the caution coming out for Medford going around. Chris Medford in 84, looping off the corner out of turn number 2.
So working our ninth caution of this event. Unfortunately, that one's for Chris Medford. He'll have to go to the back. And, leaders were just now getting into lap traffic. And looks like Snare is going to get that lucky dog pass. He's going to get back on the lead lap.
Back under the yellow flag again here. Well, the question is, we just had a pretty lengthy green flag run. Anybody coming to pit road, Chris? What do you think?
Looks like everybody's going to be coming down to pit road here. And now we're going to see who's going to win the race off of pit road, to see who stays out and takes advantage of the situation. Looks like McMeekin stayed out, so we're going to see who wins the race off of pit road for second. McMeekin, see what kind of strategy he has.
Pit road is a plethora of activity, as Chris Nunn just reiterated on. An opportunity for Steve Baker, I believe, if he has a good pit stop, as he does. The 95 of Smith comes out. Baker has not came out yet. Yes, he does. He comes out third, as the rest of the pack there behind him. All up, actually, no, that was the other 03 car. Canfield and Baker's cars look exactly alike. But in the race off pit road, the 95 came onto pit road first. They'll come out first, but there are takers that are a lap down or more that are pitting now that will cycle back around. And looks like Matthew McMeekin, if he doesn't pit, Chris, his number 4 car, another driver that brought out a caution flag earlier here in Martinsville, will be the new leader.
See what his strategy is. He is.
Yeah, he's pitting now, I believe.
Take a look and see exactly who comes in this time around. I don't know if that was McMeekin or not. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, no.
No, it's Radford and Terry on pit lane.
That's right.
And now Cody Green is pitting as well, and Britt.
Yes. All cars a lap down or more are pitting now. 83 of 200 coming up on halfway at the Big M, under the lights, with the next gen, or the Race X Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. Quick break. When we come back, we'll settle up for the restart and get ready for the second half of this race on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Copy. Hey, real quick for you, unblock the ready for the restart. You ready here at Martinsville for, I think, what did Chris say, the 9th time going back to green? They have gone single file, and we had a nice little 20-30 lap green flag run, Chris, and we're back to it again here. Let's see how long they can stay single file and play nice here at Martinsville off turn 2.
And we'll see how long it takes for Matthew McMeekin to get eaten alive by these new tires here that are behind him. Travis Smith now going to the lead underneath Matthew McMeekin, going to try to bring Osmond around, but Osmond couldn't get around McMeekin. And you see that gap that Smith is going to get over McMeekin. Now, Wesley, McMeekin is on older tires, everybody else on new tires. And McMeekin seems to be, he's a moving chicane right now. Let's put it that way.
He's a sitting duck, if you want to call it that. They are like literally passing him like he's sitting still. Whoa, look out, Baker. Wow, for a second there, Baker and the 03 at Canfield shot up the racetrack, got into Wimbush. He got down at the bottom of the apron and about spun the car around. So a good save for the 03 there of Chris Canfield. And he is now alongside McMeekin for the 4th position. And here comes the freight train roaring to the inside lane. As up top shelf is McMeekin. He's a sitting duck down to the back straightaway, Chris.
Yeah, he's just going backwards. You can tell those tires are used and abused. And while that was happening, that's allowed Travis Smith to open up over a second advantage over Osmond. Because as when Smith got around McMeekin, everybody else had to contend with McMeekin, and it took them a while to get around him. So there you see that gap right there between first and second, 1.3 seconds.
I'm wondering if there was some type of a gamble, if you will, by Smith, you know, or by McMeekin, actually. He's now fell way back. Yeah.
If he gambled, he lost.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I was thinking maybe he thought that maybe there was going to be like a quick, you know, green flag and caution back out, you know, and that's just not the case. He is falling way down by the wayside as he has now fallen into the 10th position here. We were mentioning the manufacturers that were on the racetrack, and we've also been informed that the Toyota has called it quits. His race is done. Everyone else, Chris, are in Chevrolets and Fords.
Yeah, that was a tough break, too, because Timmons, he had a fast car at the early part of this race. Kind of makes me wonder, you know, what happened on that Toyota machine, but that's unfortunate for him because he was running good. He was in the top 5.
And there you see the manufacturers right there. Smith, Osmond, Canfield. They're 1, 2, and 3. Look out, McMeekin spins. McMeekin spins the tires. Either blew or he flat spun him and spun it out. And we go under the yellow flag here for McMeekin spinning. Caution flag number 10 at the Big M, Chris Nunn.
Yeah, you mentioned that gamble that he took, and unfortunately it looks like he, we got some,
is that Baker?
No, I don't believe it's Baker.
That's the 33, I think.
Yeah, but he did have some help. That Navy-sponsored number 4 machine there.
Yes.
McMeekin.
Let's see. I'll replay one more time. Let's face facts here. McMeekin was already off the pace, and that's Miskell, Brian Miskell Jr. in 33. They gave him that nice little, I wouldn't say intentional punt to move him out of the way, Chris, but when you have no tires, your tires are gone. Sometimes what looks to be a racing move could turn out to be something more intentional.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned earlier. He was just a sitting duck out there taking that gamble. Everybody, pretty much everybody on the racetrack took tires. We see more people in the pit lane. Dustin Ping, Bradford, Miskell's in pit lane, Cox, Mefford, Wysocki, McMeekin. Everybody, or those cars on pit lane trying to get some adjustments made. We are 5 laps away from halfway, and we are working our 10th caution flag.
Should be interesting to see what the second half of this race will entail here as we are on the 10 o'clock Eastern hour, 9 Central. I am Wesley Outland. Chris Nunn, LSR TV, Will Duvall on the production side. Executive producer is Cody Wooten, and of course LiveSimRacing.com, your home of everything sim racing, from the Northwest Truck and Cup Series to World of Thunder iRacing Challenge, to this next Gen X Challenge Series, to the new LSR TV Throwback Series that's going to be coming on Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. So many cool things happening. We're glad you're along for the ride with LSR TV. And again, under caution, Chris, I will say, since the race director threw down the gauntlet and said no more double file restarts, the restarts have been fairly clean. We're at least knocking green flag runs off.
They definitely are. I mean, the starts are a lot better and a little bit more cleaner. Currently sitting at lap 97. That means we are currently averaging 9 1.7 laps per green flag run if we want to do that. But I know that's not how many we've been averaging, but if you do the math,
Right, exactly.
if you do the math, we're getting 9 laps per green flag run. That's not what we want to see. I mean, we want to see big, long green flag runs, see who the best is going to be. But, you put yourself in the driver's seat, you got to be getting frustrated with all these, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop.
Still under caution. We'll stay here with you on LSR TV's coverage of this event. As we are coming up on halfway, are we going to at least go back to green before lap 100? It looks like that might be a possibility, as I believe the lights have gone off on the pace truck here this time by. So it will be lap 99 when they come back around 2 laps to halfway. It is Travis Smith, Dell Osmond, Chris Canfield, John Wimbish, Roy Hyde and Littleton, Steve Baker, Eric Blunt, Brian Medford. The top 5 rounded out by Tom Quattlebaum Jr. as they get ready to come back in the box. 2 laps to halfway, and green flag is back in the air here at Martinsville.
All right, Travis Smith going to lead him into turn number 1 and 2 as he rolls down the bottom of the racetrack. Osmond still back there in the second spot. He rolls around to almost a 1 second advantage. It's going to be 9/10 is the gap between first and second, as we're going to be coming to halfway here very, very shortly. Hopefully, we can get a big, long green flag run in and see some race strategy play out here.
We hope so on this half mile here at the half mile of mayhem. That is the Martinsville Speedway. They're getting ready to exit off of turn number 4 this time by. Cross flags go in the air. We are halfway home from Barney the Flagman. 100 laps down, 100 to go here with Smith, Osmond, Canfield, Wimbush, and Hyde the top 5. Baker starting to make a rally back through the field as they go into turn 3.
Yeah, Baker's worked himself up to that 7th spot. He has got Littleton and Wimbish battling in front of him. He don't have room, I don't think, to make a 3 wide back there in the turns. I don't think that'd be a very good idea to make it 3 wide through the turns. But he's going to look underneath Wimbish as they head down the back straightaway. That is the battle for 6th.
Back across the racetrack, Travis Smith out in front. Osmond there in the number 2 spot. Canfield the 3rd. As there they are, there's your top 2. Your top 2 on the racetrack, single file, no one breaking out of line for that position. Honestly, Chris, to be honest, no one breaking out of line in the top 7 or 8 positions right now.
No, everything's been pretty much status quo throughout the first, 6 or 7 spots. I mean, other than Baker trying to make his way through the field. So, something's going to happen. Caution is out again for the 11th time. Caution on the speedway. Check it out.
Yellow flag out again here. They're going to say it might be Brandon Medford, and there he goes. Nose first into the inside retaining wall. A single car accident. Everybody else is able to go to the top shelf to avoid him. And Chris, back under the yellow flag again.
11 cautions here in this one. But when we came on the air, you mentioned the half mile of mayhem, and you asked me what word to describe it, carnage. That's what we've seen here so far in this first 105 laps.
We certainly have. We have certainly seen just that. Well, any takers to pit road? I think there are cars coming to pit road for service. Those in the back. Bottle Bomb, Wimbush, all coming to the pits.
I think Canfield in as well.
Yes, Canfield comes in 0-3. Miskell, we mentioned him earlier, brought a yellow flag. For all those drivers, a lap down or more coming in for service. Travis Smith will not give up his number 1 position as he is the leader. Out on the racetrack, Dell Osmond sitting in the number 2 spot. Roy Hyde in 2nd. Brian Littleton 3rd. Of course, 4th, correction. Then you have Steve Baker, the top 5. So that's the way it stands right now. And again, Chris, before we had that incident happen to Steve Baker, Baker had a really, really strong car. He's starting to come back through the front.
He is. He gets those green flag runs. He starts to make his way. He's, picking off drivers left and right. He makes some good moves. And now with this caution, he's found himself in 5th. So we'll see what kind of chess game we can play with the cars in front of him, Littleton and Hyde. He started off, like a rocket ship, but then, made that pit stop. I was kind of wondering what he was doing on that pit stop, but then he got caught up in that caution. So he's got a ways to go, nonetheless.
Ready for the restart, lap 108 of 100. That is the lineup here as we'll get ready for another green flag run. It will be a single file restart as Travis Smith has owed to Travis in that 95 car. He has been the strong man so far in the Caravan of Records number 95. Got that number looking like Lightning McQueen. I think of Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow! When I see that car. Yeah.
Coming off a second-place finish last week at Pocono. Started 18th, finished 2nd. Led 6 laps out of the 60, but he led the 6 that mattered. Led the 1 that mattered at the end. So he's looking for looking to advance 1 spot to that victory lane tonight.
Smith and Osmond ready to bring him for the restart. Rest of the pack also. Green exiting off the pit road. Lights are off for the pace truck. And we will set him up for the restart. Now, I was actually getting ready to do this before we had a yellow flag fly again. We talked about the new camera angles. We talked about the possibility of shaking cameras and all the other cool things that you can see with this new Weak iRacing 13 update. Let's rest our voices and feel the thunder from virtual Martinsville as they come back to green.
Those shaking cameras as we, we went quiet to let you guys hear the roars of the race cars, and it just puts the goosebumps on your arms, don't it, Wesley?
Oh, yeah. Love to feel the thunder as they make their exit around turn 4 here at Martinsville. Little bumping contact by Baker and Littleton as they battle for that position for 3rd. Exiting off for the corner with Travis Smith still leading the way. Smith has pulled away from Osmond. They're 1 and 2, and Littleton is in a battle of traffic with Baker and Hyde as they battle each other off turn 4 back to the stripe.
Baker still trying to get around Littleton, working his back bumper there. And it falls off just a little bit, trying to set him up for a move to get that 3rd spot away. And in Martinsville, there's not much room to maneuver, not much room to negotiate for positioning. Kind of got to outbreak him, don't you, Wes?
Yes. Got to make your move. And we saw a couple of times where, you're not really getting impatient, but you are getting impatient and you're moving your driver out of the way. You don't mean to, but you got to go. You've got to go. We saw the same thing happen with Meskin in the Brian Miskell in the 433. Gave a punt to the 4 of McMeekin, not intentionally to wreck him, but just because he had used up all of his tires and there was nothing left. It made his car spin. I always say there's a fine line there, reality or virtual, of moving somebody out of the way and then moving somebody out of the way, Chris Nunn.
I think it was just the fact that he was faster than him, and he caught him faster than he thought he was going to catch him, and he just sent him around a little bit. But
yes,
I don't think it was none the worse for wear. I don't think it was malicious or on purpose. But nonetheless, top 2 cars, Wes, they have pulled away from Littleton and Baker.
They have. The interval is almost now 2.5 seconds as they cross the line between, you have this interval between Smith and Osmond. They're 1 and 2, the 95 and the 88 car, and then Littleton is like literally halfway down the backstretch as they are entering turn 3. That's the interval they have from one another. Almost 2 seconds now at the stripe.
That is you can definitely tell who the top 2 cars are right now. The fastest 2 cars on the racetrack, 20.077 the lap there from Travis Smith. That last time around was a half a straightaway distance between 2nd and 3rd. It goes out to 2.3 seconds as Baker. And he just cannot get around Littleton right now. Littleton is playing some great defense on Baker.
back across the stripe, as it is still the man in the 95 car. Leading the charge, Travis Smith. There's Osmond, ready there with a one wrong slip, and he's going to pounce on him like a coiled cobra in a dark night in the Commonwealth. Ready to go for the lead, and they're closing in on more back marker cars. The lap traffic in front of the leaders as they exit off of turn 2, Chris.
Lap traffic going to start to make its name known yet again. Hopefully we'll be able to negotiate it, as it's going to be coming up here. You see that lap car, probably I'd say about 5 car lengths ahead of your leaders, as they're catching them quickly.
Looking as they make their way off the corner, you see that lap car. That's that neon yellow car right there. That's closing in, the 34.
I think that's
Doug Wasaki up the racetrack, and he gives way. And you know what? As he goes 4 laps down, Chris, I respect that. Whether reality or virtual, if there's a race and you're not in it, get the hell out of the way. Let the guys have their battle. Let them race and do what they're doing, like we're seeing between Smith and Osmond. Don't try to cause interference.
Yeah, you've seen many times a lap car will try to race the leaders, and sometimes the lap car will take the leader out or take the second place car. Now we got a car almost got sideways back there on the back straightaway. Could not quite see who it was, but it was a white car about took a header. It is a Damon Cox. We're going to stay green, though.
We will stay green as they negotiate off the corner. Working lap number 123 of 200. But upon 75 laps to go, and for the most part, since lap 100, it's been a fairly a good run here. Trying to work our longest green flag run of the race, as Littleton is there in 4 seconds back in the 3rd position. We just got all sorts of congestion all through the pack for John Wimbush and McMeekin and all these cars trying to fight and claw their way through the pack. This is a great battle outside the top 10.
Yeah, most definitely. As we take a look at Cody Terry working his way up through the field, there's Wysocki taking a pit side 4 laps down. Take a pit side, or get some stuff worked on it, or this may be the end of his night.
Yeah, he might actually be calling it quits. I'm not sure here. As we still have Travis Smith leading the way. There's Wimbush, and you have the 4 car in front of him, and all these cars, the 1, Dustin Ping, all down the back straightaway. Miskel's in that mix as well. We mentioned him earlier tonight. As they come off the corner, everyone all single file. Clicking off laps now, Chris. I like that. Clicking off these laps now. Boom,
Definitely,
boom, boom, boom.
definitely clicking off. As I was taking a look, the gap between the top 2 and 3rd place is now 5.5 seconds. We got one around on the front straightaway. Caution is out, and I believe it's going to be Cody Terry, excuse me, bringing out the caution. Just got loose coming off of 4, might have had some help, but he ended up in the front stretch wall.
Cody Terry, the number 22. He was battling alongside Wimbush. He pushed Wimbush up the racetrack, and then it looked like he cut that air off and simply went around in the spin cycle. Cody Terry in 22, and that will cause yellow flag 12. I think it's the 12th caution of this race.
Yes, it is.
Yellow flag number 12.
And all right, Wes. I was going to say before I'll cover this after we come back from break. How's that?
There you go. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, pit stops, and we'll continue the second half here from Martinsville. LSR TV, your home of sim racing.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
done. Wesley Outlet here with you up topside virtually at Martinsville Speedway for LSR TV. Will Duvall doing the production. Executive producer is Cody Wooten. And again, this is 200 laps for the next Gen X Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. Green flag going back in the air. Here comes cheerwine time. Wimbush brings it to speed.
Yeah, pit stops definitely shook up the running order a little bit. We're going to see, though, Smith and Osborne, they were the class of the field, and there goes Osborne around for the lead. Wimbush not going to give it up too easily. Look out, we got one around.
Oh,
Littleton on turn 4.
Littleton spins. Several cars get collected as well with pingwood damage. Looks like the 4 of McMeekin might have got caught up in it, and it all started with Littleton in that blue car exiting. He might have got a punt from Steve Baker. Uh-oh, he did.
And we are on caution number unlucky 13, unfortunately. 13 cautions in this event. And that's going to be a tough break for Littleton. We'll see if he goes pit side to get some repairs or whatnot and see if he can make his way back up through the field. But, man, what a tough break for him.
We had an awesome battle, the battle of the soft drinks of the South. Before that caution came out, we had
Cherry wine versus
Cherry wine and Sundrop, man. The drinks of the South, brother.
Franchise wars at Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah. You know what? I think they make the same drink. I think they do. I think Cheerwine makes Sundrop and vice versa. I think so. When I used to announce at Rockingham Speedway, they used to have Cheerwine and Sundrop at the racetrack all the time, so I think they are the same bottling company. Not promoting them, I'm just saying,
And hopefully, like I said, caution unlucky, number 13 here. Hopefully we can get this race green to Checkered from here on. I want to knock on wood here.
Wimbush just gave up the position, by the way. He was in second, and he just gave up all that track position he had. He goes to the tail end of the field of the lead lap. Last car of the lead lap is up. Well, okay, it's not the last car, but he's one of the cars that are in the back. And he has now allowed, Dale Osmond has allowed Travis Smith to close in on him again. Roy Hyde, Steve Baker, Chris Canfield.
Dale Osmond, points leader here in the Next Gen Series. Currently by 1 point over Steve Baker. Steve Baker sitting back there in that 4th spot. He's got a 3rd place finish at Pocono, 4th place finish at Texas, 7th place finish at Daytona. And, man, he's just been consistent, but the consistency will win championships sometimes.
Lights are off for the pace car. Another single file restart coming up. Oh, well, they've actually waved off the restart. My apologies. They're going to make another lap under caution.
Sitting
we're
at
coming back to green.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it went off too as well. 133 laps working right now as still got Chris Mefford. He's coming off pit lane. It's Osmond, Smith, Roy Hyde in the 3rd spot. Haven't talked much about Roy Hyde. He currently sits in the 8th position in points. He's got 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s on the season. He's one driver we haven't talked about much, Wes.
We're definitely going to keep an eye on Hyde and see what he does. He's right there in a nice stranglehold on the field, sitting in 3rd. And I'm still watching Baker and Canfield as we watch on board with Baker's car. The pace car, or the pace truck, drops back onto pit road here at Martinsville. We'll get ready to come back for the green flag. Lap number 140, working 60 laps to go. Next time by, we're back under green.
Osmond, your leader, into turn number 1 and 2. Travis Smith in that 2nd spot. They were the class of the field while they were running 1st and 2nd just a bit ago. They had a 5-second lead over the 3rd place car. But man, we'll see if they got see if they can pull back out to that. Oh, look out! Smith got a little squirrely coming off 4, Wes.
See if they got anything to hold this driver off, as that's Canfield battle alongside Baker for that spot as they go to the back straightaway. Back in a turn at number 3, side by side. This is for 4th and 5th. Up the racetrack with Baker. Baker lost all that ground on Canfield. Baker with a problem as he just got passed by 2 more cars on the inside.
Yeah, he and Canfield, they made contact as they came out of the turn number 3 and 4 last time around, and that shot Baker up the racetrack, and he lost wholesale positioning. He just fell back to 6th. Now he's got to, get back on the hamster wheel here and get back on it. He's got to look underneath Eric Blount for the 5th spot. He's got a car capable of catching back up, and I don't want to say it, but he needs a yellow. But I don't want to see any more yellows, Wes.
Yes, for sure. And I'll tell you something. I've always said this: Martinsville, Richmond, Bristol. Though they're short tracks, they remind me so much of drafting. You're still drafting like you are at Talladega or Daytona, virtual or reality. Look at just what happened to Baker. Baker got shifted up the racetrack by Canfield, and here comes the entire dog pile going to the inside and roaring by him, and he's a sitting duck, as we've used in that cliche several times tonight. And Baker has now got to try to file back in position and try to find a way to make a run down through the pack. So, and we've seen this now as we have this battle heating up for the lead. Is that Hyde looking for the lead on Osborne and Smith? Look at this battle, 3 cars heating up.
Yeah, that's actually the battle for second. Osborne has pulled away to well over a second lead.
Yes.
Hyde trying to get that runner-up spot away, but now he lost a lot of momentum there. I was going to say this, harking back to the Steve Baker comment. This racetrack is such a bottom-dominant racetrack. You get shoved up even 2 feet, you're going to get freight train.
Yes, which looks like a draft at Talladega or Daytona. Basically, you get pushed up in the marbles, or the tater patch, as we say, as the caution flag comes out again for the 14th time. You're going to lose all that ground that you had, and we're going to find out what happened to the number 6 of Eric Blount. He has brought out the caution here, looped it around on his own. Using up his tires, maybe?
Well, he's got a caution. He can go get 4 fresh ones now and try to make a climb through the field. And caution.
Hey, there's that caution Baker wanted, too.
Exactly right. You're right. And we got cars in the pit area. We've got Hyde in the pit area and a Canfield, Baker. Everybody pitting here for 4 fresh tires and some Sunoco race fuel.
All right. Could this be the money stop as well? As we're under 51 laps to go here in Martinsville. Could this be the money stop? Could this be the final pit stop of the race to take this to the finish as all these top contenders are coming in?
You notice who stayed out, though. You notice who stayed out. Osborne and Smith, they stayed out.
You think they've still got good cars? They're not worried about pitting right now?
I don't know if they've got 51 laps left of good car. That may be my thing.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to check that out.
How about some contact between Baker and Canfield coming off the road?
Yes, I've seen that. Oh, can't we be friends? They're not discussing dinner plans. They're definitely not planning on going to Clarence's Steakhouse up the road from Martinsville to have a little post-race virtual dinner.
And they
were a little bumping, banging.
They were the 2 cars that got together that sent Baker up the racetrack there about 10, 12 laps ago, too.
They sure were. All right, 50 laps to go. Pick your poison here at Martinsville. 3/4 of the way through. We're ready to bring this to the finish on LSR TV. For Martinsville Virtual, when we come back with the Next Gen Challenge Series.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
to go. Restart here at Martinsville. It's going to be 48 laps to go as we are coming back from commercial break right before the green flag flies. And what do you say, Chris? Let's rest our loud voices because nobody cares about us anyway. And let's let them feel the thunder or not. The caution is out, so I guess they want us to keep talking. Yellow flag number 14, I believe, or 15 now.
Working 15 now.
Oh, my goodness. Caution coming out for the number 57 of Damon Cox. We were setting you up for the Feel the Thunder again. We were going to rest our voices for about 3 laps and let you just hear the roars and check out the new shaking camera at the start-finish line. Blunt in the wall, and he almost tagged Cox, it looked like. So actually for the second yellow in a row, Chris, it is for Eric Blunt in the 6 car.
Indeed, and the most cautions in a NASCAR race, 22. The 2005 Coca-Cola 600, we're working 15. I do not want to get close to that 22 mark.
This is virtual too, yeah. And by the way, they had 20 caution flags at Bristol last Sunday.
Yeah, I hope for prosperity's sake, people like to watch the races. I hope nobody breaks that Coca-Cola 600 record for most cautions in a race.
Well, we're ready to decide this one here as another caution flag comes out over the racetrack. .158 of 200, coming upon 40 laps to go. And of course, Del Osmond being the man that has led the way here.
You know,
Del Osmond, Travis Smith, John Wimbush. Yes, sir, Chris.
Yeah, we've got cars sponsored by, Cheerwine and Sundrop, which have made me thirsty. I am thanking my lucky stars we don't have any Bojangles sponsored cars because I get hungry.
I'm glad that there's Bojangles in your neck of the woods.
There's not. That's the thing. There's not though. That's the thing. I've had it before, and it's so good. You want to go there. You want to get it.
We love Bojangles. It's bow time. And they've started in no way promoting Bojangles, but they've also started now recently doing like a pimento spread. Like if you're a fan of pimento cheese, they've started doing this pimento spread.
No, yeah, I've not been a fan of pimento, but it sounds decent for those of you guys that like it.
All right, enough about food. Let's get back to work here. Osmond is the man that's led the way. Wimbush in the Cheerwine car has come back to third. 156 of 200, coming up in the final 40 laps of this race here at Martinsville. The lights are around the racetrack in full glow, illuminated. You have nightfall officially settled in, and this is going to be an exciting finish here under the lights. By the way, if you like Martinsville Virtual, next Wednesday night, the Cup Series will be at Martinsville Speedway. It should be exciting. You do not want to miss it. 500 laps from Martinsville next Wednesday night. Here they come to the line. Green flag back in the air with Osmond, Smith, and Wimbush, all the top 3 roaring back to green in turn number 1.
Osmond and Smith in the class of the field so far as they roll down the back straightaway, opening up about an 1/8 of a second lead over the third-place car. Wimbush, who has got Roy Hyde behind him in that 4th position. Baker has now moved back up into that 5th position, and he's going to try to catch the tail end of Hyde, but Baker's got Miskell back to the outside. Oh, Miskell, though, got freight train. He got pushed up the racetrack just a bit.
There's that thing we talk about being pushed out of the draft and making it hurt. And that happens to Brian Miskell Jr. in that 33 car. Where does he fall back in line as cars starting to get antsy, fighting for position? Canfield and Baker fighting for that spot off of turn number 2. Whoa, going around Wimbush. Wimbush spins in 56.
Wow, what a tough break by Wimbush as we now work caution number 16. We'll take a look at what happened here on our instant replay.
Not really sure from that angle.
Oh, yes.
Here we go. Oh, wow. Is that
Yeah.
Hyde that got into him and turned him in the left rear? Or the right rear?
He got Pat McAfee there in that corner right there.
Tough break for Wimbush. Gotta wonder if a penalty's going to be coming for Hyde's car in the 0-0.
I was hoping you caught the Pat McAfee reference there.
I did. I just didn't want to reiterate on it.
That's just my way of saying punted, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. He got punted. He got punted, man. Let's look at it one more time. And you be the judge. You be the judge. LSR TV, you be the judge. Let's look from the blimp view. Oh, yeah, left rear. Hyde got into him. Good save by Baker to get on the binders quickly to miss him. Or is it because they're leaving the exit of the corner, Chris Nunn? Could you give him that as a mulligan?
You could, depending on how you're looking at it under race control. It could be that's one of those either-or situations. There's a gray area there.
A tough break there for the driver of the Cheerwine colors. Whether you like Sundrop or Cheerwine, they are the drinks of the South. 56, Wimbush going to have to fight back through the pack after going to the tail end of the field on the lead lap. And we'll set up for a restart here. Lights are off on the pace truck.
And Osmond and Smith, Wes, they have
No,
just
they're
been
back on again.
They've been the class of the field all night long. At one
Yes,
point,
sir.
they had a 5-second lead over third place.
Yeah, Osmond and Smith. At one time, Wimbush was also a very strong car. The Cheerwine car that just brought out the caution, he was also right in there battling hard, doing well too. So, I kind of feel bad for those guys for sure. Still plenty of time, though, to get back on the high horse, as you say, and come back and cause a comeback, as this race has still got around 35 laps to go.
They said any cautions past the lap 175 will revert back to double file restart. So we're 10 laps away from possibly getting back into double file restarts. And Wes, somebody says we need to get some Hardee's.
There we go. I love some Hardee's too. Remember that $6 burger? That was always one of my favorites. Hey, okay, so people might not know, me and Chris Nunn have known each other for many, many years. We've announced many races together. The coolest probably was when we worked the entire East Bay Winter Nationals with one another. What was your favorite food that we ate down in Florida?
Oh, goodness. Beef O'Brady's.
Okay. I was going to say I was a sucker of the strawberry cheesecake at East Bay. That was the best food to me ever.
That was good. And I also got to go with the Jersey Mike's wraps. Those were fantastic.
Oh yes, we love Jersey Mike's. We're sorry that we're getting you hungry, BJ and Cody and all of our fans that are watching. We're just talking about some of the cool places we've gone and ate and drinked, and here we go. Ready for the restart. The Sundrop car. Osmond Smith ready to go back to green here at Martinsville. They're back in the corner.
Osmond up 15 spots in the lead. Roy Hyde, how about an attaboy for him? He's up 10 spots up there in that third position. As Osmond and Smith, they roll on first and second. Hyde back there in the third spot. Then top three, though, they're pulling away from Baker just a bit.
Here they come off the corner with Steve Baker. Baker starting to come back through the field. He's patiently. That's the thing, though, Chris. He's still got a good car, but he's patiently been in the top 5. He's still in 4th.
That is true. He got caught up in that caution early on in the race, and he's had to fight and claw his way back up towards the front. But man, I just don't think anybody has anything for these top 2 cars right now.
Back across the line here with Osmond up the racetrack. Here comes Hyde. And there is a gaggle of lap traffic all over the place as they fight and claw their way off the corner. Brian Miskell Jr. That is for inside 10th position, battling alongside with Damon Cox and Cody Terry and Troy Radford. That battle heating up as they exit now off of turn number 4. We've got under 30 laps to go.
And Miskell seemed to be having a little bit of a handling issue there. He would go low, but his car just pushing up the racetrack a little bit. He had it gathered up there, but he lost some spots. Look out!
Whoa, look out, hard on the wall!
That is Damon Cox again, but we're going to stay green.
smacks the wall, keeps on going. Damon Cox, and we will still stay under the green flag. Now we're under caution. Spinner right in front of him. That's Troy Radford at 94, right at the start-finish line. Caution out again with 29 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Working caution flag number 17 of this event. And I believe after 175, we're going to go back to double file restarts. So that's going to shake things up a little bit as we see what happened to Radford here. He just got sideways and pinballed off both the walls.
Well, well, well. Another yellow flag here again.
Now, the top two cars, remember, they did not pit earlier when everybody else did. What do you do now?
Man, do you pit? You give up that position? I just don't know.
I think they're...
Here comes the 95. Smith is in. He gives up position. What do you think, Chris?
It's a good street. It's definitely a gamble, that's for sure, to pit right now. He's got a strong enough car that he can come back to the front. Osmond, however, decided to stay out, so that's going to tell the tale as well.
It's like what Mike Joyce said last week at Charlotte about pit stops. Damned if you do and damned if you don't. Osmond is a sitting duck regardless. If he stays out, he's in trouble. If he pits, he's in trouble. And so is everyone else behind him. But maybe Osmond feels that he's got still, a stronger run. Maybe he thinks there's going to be more cautions. What is this, the 18th caution of the race?
17th.
17th, okay. Let's not add any more than what there already are. For sure. 17th caution of the race is Osmond Hyde. We've mentioned him, but we've not really talked about him that much. Let's show a full view on the car of the 00, Roy Hyde. He right now sitting in the number 2 position, doing really good, staying out of trouble. Okay, yeah, he might have got caught up in that controversial spin there with Wimbush a moment ago. But for the most part, Chris Nunn, he's had a really strong car, and the 00 could be in P1 when this race ends.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good season so far. He's got 1 top 5 on the season, 2 top 10s. So we know he's consistent enough to run in the top 10. So he may have something to say before this race is over with as well.
Hyde is again that driver, the 00. They're in the number 2 spot. Steve Baker, we mentioned his woes and problems. He's in 3rd. Canfield had problems. He's in 4th. Listen to this. Here's something to think about. Listen to this real quickly, Chris Nunn. As we get ready for a restart, Del Osmond leads. Roy Hyde is in 2nd. Baker, Canfield, Littleton, McMeekin, Terry, Medford in 83, Medford 84, Wimbush in 56, Ping, Cox. All these cars have had problems, and they're all back in the top 10.
And that's a product of a lot of caution flags as well. And looks like Pace Truck's going to pull off. We're going to go back underway here, working lap number 177. Working lap number 178 as we are back green here at Martinsville. Osmond's going to take the lead into turn number 1 and 2. Hyde now to the outside. He's going to have to tuck back in as Osmond just too fast for him off the corner.
Ready for green. Let's rest our voices one more time and let you feel the thunder here from Martinsville with under 25 to go. Oh, fuck, another caution. Oh. We are under yellow flag. So much for another Feel the Thunder, Chris Nunn.
And I think we just jinxed it there as take a look at what the caution flag was all about here. Miskell had some contact. He had some help there coming out of turn 4.
2, 3 cars. Brian Snare's involved. Eric Hunt's involved in the 6. And another yellow flag out again. What a tough break. Miskell, Snare, and Blunt all there, putting us under yellow flag. tried to crank it up there, fill the thunder for you another time, and unfortunately, caution coming out yet again.
Travis Smith moved up a couple of spots there to 12th. Keep an eye on his run back towards the front. Britton to the pit area, Blount to the pit area, Snare to the pit area. Let's see if anybody else pits during this caution flag.
Does Osmond and Hyde come to pit road? That's the question. I don't see any takers yet in the front. We're working lap number 181, 20 laps to go here.
I think they'll stay out.
But do you think we'll see a scenario again of like what happened with the 4 car of Matthew McMeekin? Remember whenever he stayed out and used up all of his tires and stayed out and was a sitting duck on the restart, and everybody just, you know, went by him like a lost cause? Did we see the same thing happen with Oz? But also we're seeing Hyde and Baker and Littleton and all these other guys that are staying on the racetrack well. For the most part, everybody in the top 10 is not pitting.
No, I think everybody's going to stay out for the rest of the race. We only have 18 laps to go. Osmond's got to think his car is good enough to stay out and win this race, and I can't argue with him, as good as he's been all night long.
Well. A good one here at Martinsville. Caution field. This is the 18th caution now. Does Osmond have the car, Chris Nunn, to win this race? What do you think, buddy?
I can't argue with as good as his car's been today. I think he's got the car to hold on to win it. He's got to be my pick here for the rest of the race.
Roy Hyde, ready there. We've seen him use the chrome horn before on the left rear of Wimbush's car. He'll move him if need be, unless that was, off the corner, tied off the center. Again, spin. And did you say that if we're under 20 laps to go, we're going to go double file for the restarts?
Yeah, we went double file on our last restart on lap number 177. So
there you go.
This will be our second double file restart here with less than 25 to go.
So we will have a double file attempt, I guess, until the race director might feel he needs to do away with that again. We have run almost 100 laps of this race without double file restarts until this final 25 lap run, as the field is doubled up behind the pace car, ready for the restart here. On a Thursday night, we welcome you to coverage of LSR TV, your home of sim racing. This is the Race X Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. Chris Nunn, Wesley Outland, BJ Duvall, Will Duvall on the production, along with executive producer Cody Wooten, ready for the field to come to green off of turn 4, under 20 laps to go, and they come back to green, 16 laps to go with Osmond, Sundrop Man, bringing them in the corner.
Down the back straightaway they go. It is less than about 50 laps to go, coming to 14 to go. This time by Osmond and Hyde, 1 and 2. Steve Baker looking back there in that third spot. Travis Smith is working his way up. Caution is out yet again.
Yellow flag number 19 with 15 laps to go. And they're saying Baker and Littleton might be the causes of it. Look out, Littleton going around on his own up to the top shelf and spun, bounced off another car in Canfield. And there's the yellow flag. Yellow flag number 19 for that matter.
Wow, I think...
and Wimbush got collected again in the 56 car. Nowhere to go for Wimbush. He got involved.
What a tough break there for Littleton. I believe that was one of the Meffords that was involved in that as well. And he's one of the cars that got collected, I believe. I saw an 83 there on the side.
Well.
Oh yeah, I was watching the playback on the live stream, and yeah, it was the 83 machine of Brandon Mefford who clobbered him as he hit the wall, and Wimbush just spun it out trying to lock up the tires.
What a tough break. There's a tough break there for Osmond's car. Hyde is there as they are still the top 3 with Baker. Slowly but surely, all of this bad luck for others is being the capital and gain for them. And now we see Canfield coming to the pits. He is giving up No, no, that's the 83 of Brian Medford. Those cars look so exactly alike, but it looks like we got people disappearing too. Now, ready for this restart here. Anybody else coming to the pits? Nope. Oh, did you see the fake? That was Steve Baker faking to come to pit road, and then he turned right.
Trying to give the old little fake out there. It didn't. Nobody bid on it though. That's so.
Yeah, by the way, that was the number 83 of Brian Medford. Those cars look a lot alike, him and Canfield, and Canfield's car is still there in the number 4 position. The Sun Drop, the Mountain Dew of the South car, number 88, Adele Osmond leading the way, and Chris, you said he's got a 1-point lead for this series going into this race tonight.
Yeah, he does. 1 point, 115 to 114 over Steve Baker. Then it's 4 points back behind them to Wimbush in third. So it's 115, 114 to 110. And then another 6 back to Travis Smith in the 4th spot. And Dustin German, who is not racing with us, is in the 5th spot with 101.
That shows you how competitive this series truly is. As you see the opportunity of 4 or 5 drivers in the top 10, nestled by less than 16 points, fighting for the championship.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very consistent and close points race. If everybody keeps showing up to the races, I think we're going to be in for a treat for the rest of the season.
Coming up, when this race concludes, we'll have the Clan Wars servers post-race recap of the race, thoughts, analysis, unofficial results, and top 3 interviews. Presented by Clan Wars Servers, the official server of LSR TV. Ready for green. Under 11 laps to go. Here they come to green. 10 laps to go at Martinsville. Osmond on the jump out of 2.
Yeah, he got a great jump. As we got a car around in turn 3 and 4. Caution is out again.
Mick Meakin. Wimbush. So many others collected. Yellow flag number 20. Littleton also caught up in it.
Wow. I think we may be having to go back to single file restarts. Oh, he just got... wow, Medford just got into the back of him and around they went. Travis Smith
That's
involved.
Mick Meakin's car.
Yeah, McMeekin
the
and
57.
Travis Smith also involved.
Wow. 57, that's Cox's car. Damon Cox, poor guy, laps down. Innocent bystander there in that deal. He got spun and crashed again. And by the way, mind you, we are under 10 laps to go. Now we have 8 laps to go in the race, and we have several cars involved. 20 caution flags here tonight at Martinsville.
Now, that's a bad break for Baker as well. Or not Baker, excuse me, for Travis Smith, as he has had a great car all night long, and to be caught up in an accident back there in the back of the pack, it's just bad luck for him.
LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Reminder tonight, there will not be the Northwestern Racing Truck Series that normally is around 11:30 Eastern Time on Thursday night. No truck race tonight. A matter of fact, this will wrap up our coverage on LSR TV for this week. We'll come back next Monday with the Northwestern iRacing Cup Series on Monday night. Tuesday night, still open if anybody's interested. Go to livesimracing.com and contact Cody Wooten or BJ Russell if you're interested in having a series race on broadcast for LSR TV. The new LSR TV Throwback Series coming on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday night, the World of Thunder iRacing League. And then on Thursday night, of course, again, it's the Next Gen Challenge Series, Gen 6 Cup Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing that you're watching tonight for Martinsville. And then next Thursday night, the Northwest Racing Truck Series. All sorts of entertainment from dirt to trucks to cup and more on LSR TV, your home of sim racing, Chris Nunn.
Oh, man, this is going to be... I have a feeling we are getting set up for a wild and crazy final 5 or so laps.
Yes, sir. Under 5 laps to go this time by. Remember, and I've always found this confusing myself. Normally we're thinking we're at 5 laps to go. We're at 5 laps to go when we cross lap 196, which we are now. Now we're officially at 5 laps to go. And 200 of 200 is not the checkered flag, that is the white flag lap. So that's one of the only things that really confused me, Chris Nunn. I don't know if you remember when you kind of got started back announcing the iRacing, but like normally we think lap 199 is the white flag, lap 200 is the race over. Not in iRacing world. iRacing world, lap 200 is the white flag. You come back around on 200 and then the race is over. So this is 4 laps to go. When we come back to green here on lap 197, maybe we can bring this to the finish, my friend.
All right, hopefully clean and green the rest of the way here. Going to get a great finish hopefully coming up. Osmond's got the car to beat right now as he starts to pull away. 2 car lengths separating he and Roy Hyde. So we go down the back straightaway. We will have 3 laps to go as we come around. Oh, look out, around goes Canfield, and we're cautioned again.
Canfield, such a strong car. McMeekin's caught up in it as well in the number 4 again. So many good contenders. And caution flag number 21 with under 4 laps to go at Martinsville. Chris, you called it. What happened in 3 and 4?
Just some contact sent Canfield around, and everything else just accordioned after that or in front of him. So a tough break for Canfield, bringing out the caution. He was running up there in the top 5.
What a tough break for these drivers under the yellow flag yet again. Osmond, Hyde, Baker, 1, 2, and 3. Mefford, Ping, the top 5, some new cars. How about this one, Chris Nunn? Look at the 43. Brian Snare. He struggled in qualifying. The 43 car for the Victory Junction Game Camp and the colors of the great Adam Petty, the late Adam Petty, is now in the top 6. What a great run for that 43 car. He has struggled the entire race. He's back on the lead lap.
It's pit stops combined with caution flags. You can crawl yourself back up there, and that's exactly what he's been doing. And I was watching the playback there. McMeekin got into Canfield and took him around.
What a tough break there for Matthew McMeekin and Canfield. Canfield had such a strong car. He was in the top 5, as McMeekin was as well, several times in this race. So it looks like they're going to call penalty or call the caution on both of those cars. So McMeekin and Canfield both going behind the wall. We are going into overtime. We have completed 200 laps, last lap around. So this is what's going to happen. Overtime rules apply to a green-white checker. They will come to the line. Multiple attempts of a green-white checker will be attempted. If they cross the line and take the white flag, the next flag ends the race, meaning wreckers or checkers. Now, if they come back around on the restart and nobody takes the white flag and we have a caution, then we will have multiple attempts for a green-white checker finish, Chris Nunn. But again, if the leader takes the white flag, the next flag will end the race, whatever happens.
Hopefully, for our sake, we do not see that record-tying caution number 22, and we get this race finished here, green-white checker. It's going to be an exciting one. We'll see if Hyde can keep up with Osmond on this restart here. Osmond, though, man, he has just pulled away every single time.
Lights are going to go off on the pace trucks, time by, and we will set up for a restart here. It looks like it will be single file. Wow. It has all come down to this. This race, as you said, Chris Nunn, carnage for sure.
21 cautions worth of carnage, and haven't had any of your Waffle House specials here tonight, so that's a
no
good
scattered,
one.
smothered, and covered moment. You're exactly right. Here we go. Green, white, checker. Pick your poison. Virtual Martinsville running cracking again.
That's Cody
Caution
Terry.
is out.
Cody Terry spinning it around as soon as the green flag comes out, and I think we're the green is still
I think
out.
we're still green. Terry is going behind the wall. Oh my goodness, are we under caution?
No, I think we're still green.
I think we're still green. They are. White flag's in the air. One more lap to go. No caution. White flag is out. And it is Dale Osmond leading the way down the back straightaway. High Hyde, Baker, nobody can run with him. After 21 cautions, not shy of the virtual reality record, Dale Osmond, the points man, wins a wild caution flag race here at Martinsville. Second spot will go to Hyde. Third, as they're crashing at the finish line, Hyde, Baker, Medford, Ping, crossing the line in the top 5, and they are wrecking again to the checkered flag, Chris Nunn.
What a wild finish we've had here at Martinsville.
Wow.
We avoided a caution flag. We saw Cody Terry go around there. As we're going to take a look at some of that.
I would just say keep that same camera shot. I would say keep that same camera shot to see what happened. McMeekin turned the 46 of Justin Walters, and then all of a sudden they started crashing at the checkered flag right about here. Look at this. You know, this reminds me.
Look at that new damage model. The new damage model. All the sheet metal hanging off the race cars.
Do you see the sparks and the flames and all that stuff coming off of that car from the damage? Wow. Interesting race here at Martinsville. Caution field for sure with 21 yellows. But when it's all said and done, Dale Osmond wins here tonight. Here for the Next Gen, the Race X Next Gen's Challenge Series. The next round, a wild one from Martinsville. Clan Wars post-race wrap-up is coming up next on LSR TV, your home of sim racing.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Oh, a wild one here for the race tonight at Martinsville Speedway for the Of course, it does says Northwest Racing Truck Series, but it's the Gen X Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. A wild one here at Martinsville. Welcome back to the Clan War Surfers post-race wrap-up. Chris Nunn, Wesley Outlet here with you, and we take a look at the unofficial results of this race. Chris, as we look at the top 18, what's your take of Martinsville as Dale Osmond gets the big win?
And that was a absolute wild affair. 21 cautions, one short of the real-life record in NASCAR. And Dale Osmond, your points leader, he was the survivor, picking up the win. Roy Hyde coming up second. Steve Baker third. Chris Mefford fourth. Dustin Payne coming up with the top five. And Brian Snare sixth. Brian Littleton seventh. John Wimbish in that eighth position. Brian Miskell Jr. in the ninth spot. And Wesley Travis Smith, man, he had one of the cars to beat. Only coming home with the 10th spot.
And as we see the rest of the rundown here, the top 10, as we show the rest of the overall finishes on our next screen, from 19th on back to the finish, we see all these other drivers that so many hopes dashed here, reality virtual tonight. They were so close to doing well, and then having the problems they had. As we look at now at Travis Smith, and we look at Quattlebaum, and we look at Mefford and Canfield. He was in the hunt before this happened. McMeekin was right there in the battle as the rest of the rundown ticks away here from the 25 drivers that were a part of this race. When it's said and done, again, the driver of Mr. Osmond picking up the victory when it is in the books. Let's go now to our third place finisher of the race. We'll talk to our third place finisher, and that is, of course, Steve Baker. Steve in 55. You struggled, got involved in a wreck, came back through the field. Green caution. You set up for third place on the podium.
Yeah, had a good car to start the race. Started out front, had a good qualifying effort, led a handful of laps, and then not sure what happened. Car just, I think we entered three a little too high there and got it loose. I ended up in some more trouble throughout the race, and then just had to kind of claw back the rest of the race.
Third place finish, nothing to sneeze at, but as a driver in the cockpit, 21 cautions. How, in your mind, how does that affect you guys throughout the race, having that many cautions?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. I would have loved to get some more green flag laps in to, see what everybody had. I felt like the car was pretty consistent on the longer runs. But sometimes that's how it is, especially at a track like Martinsville. I think being week 13 and having some changes to the car this week and having new damage model and all sorts of other stuff, it was kind of a wild card for everybody.
Well, we'll see you next week, Baker. A good, strong run, good comeback after your problems in the late rally and or in the early of the race and getting third. So we'll see you next weekend, next Thursday.
Thank you.
Steve Baker, 55, third on the podium. Runner-up, I talked to Roy Hyde of the 00 car. Roy, me and Chris were talking about you several times in the broadcast, and the thing that we kept mentioning was, just staying out of trouble. Yeah, a couple of questionable getting into somebody racing deals, but you rallied. You stayed at the front. You never relinquished, but you just could not catch Osmond in the top spot. But are you happy with second?
Oh, I'm ecstatic with second, I'll be honest. I mean, especially after that last restart, I spun the tires, and I thought Steve was just going to wipe me out because I was slow. Luckily, he didn't. And so, yeah, second place, pretty happy with it. So Martinsville, so there's always going to be close racing. Contact's going to be made.
Yeah, you've been pretty consistent throughout the year already. One top five, two top tens. Consistency is pretty much what you want as close as these point standings are. How do you build on this going on to next week?
You just use especially being in a new build, so it gives us a lot more information on what the tires are going to do, especially on restarts and longer runs, because we stayed out a couple of times where we probably shouldn't have, and it put us on old tires for restarts, so you were able to see what type of grip level you're going to get on the tires, how the car is going to handle, especially with the new damage model, what's going to affect it. So I think it was a lot of good technical information with the cars and the way that they're going to do in the coming weeks.
Well, a good run for you. Thank you so much for joining us and surviving here at Martinsville, second place. I know you sound ecstatic.
Oh, yeah. It's a good race. Thank you, guys. Have fun. And just shout out to the Dirty Air guys because, yeah, they helped me out with the setup on this one here, and without them, I wouldn't have had nothing, basically. And I appreciated everybody over there.
You bet. 00 Roy Hyde again, runner-up in this event here at Martinsville. And when it's all said and done, we go to victory lane. Wow. Osmond, what a crazy race here at Martinsville. A big, big win for you. You came into the night with a 1 point over Steve Baker. You will increase that points lead at least by 10 points or more as you leave here tonight from Martinsville. And you win a wild one here tonight. And driving the Mountain Dew of the South car, Sundrop. I love me some Sundrop.
Yeah, tonight was a crazy race. It was filled with cautions. A little disappointed in that, but, that's Martinsville. I had all of 20 minutes of practice coming into this race, so coming from 16th all the way up to first is just awesome.
I mean, it's consistency is what the key, as we mentioned this earlier. 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, a 1 point lead. It seemed like you and Travis Smith, you guys had the best cars throughout the race. Travis pitted with about 20 to go. What was your strategy? Were you staying out the whole time?
Yeah, as soon as I took those 2 tires earlier on in the race, I think it was around lap 130, I knew I was going to stay out for the entire time or I was going to lose all my spots. So, yeah, pretty much once I got down on those 2 tires, I knew I was going to stay out till the end.
Well, a good race for you. Obviously, you leave here with the points lead as well. Are you thinking the championship with you and Steve Baker, or is it just try to get race wins and knock off as many points possible?
Goal is always the championship. And, I've got my sponsor, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company, behind me. I've got my teammates, Dustin Ping and Brian Snare with me. They're awesome, so they're always a big help. But, yeah, championship is always my goal, and I've got a good group behind me to support me.
When it's all said and done, the Sundrop colors of Osmond reign supreme here at Martinsville. That's going to wrap up the Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up, presented again by Clan Wars, the official server of LSR TV. Chris Dunn, always a pleasure working with you, bud, whether in reality or simulation. What's your thoughts of tonight's race at Martinsville?
Carnage. What can you say? 21 caution flags, kind of marred a pretty good race when we had green flag runs. We had a lot of good battles up there. But, Osmond and Smith, they were the class of the field. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Travis Smith throw his name in the hat there at the end. I think it would have been a great battle up there between those guys. But got to give an attaboy to Osmond and Hyde and Baker, your top 3. They ran a good race.
Good races, good battles. Martinsville, mayhem at its finest. Carnage, as Chris Dunn says. When it's all said and done, Osmond, the points man with 1 point over Baker, holds off Baker, Hyde and company to get another win on the, of course, series that you've been checking out here tonight on LSR TV. The Race X Next Gen Challenge Series presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. Thank you for all of our sponsors. Thank you for them. For, of course, awesome production work by Will Duvall. For Cody Wooten, the founder and, of course, the executive producer of LSR TV. For Chris Dunn, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for joining us. We'll do it again next Thursday night on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. God bless you all, and keep on praying for America.
We'll see you next Thursday at Darlington.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.